One of the goals that I have is to kind of give students a sense of what it is like to create an experiment and then watch the process unfold where the animal reacts to that. You can watch behavior change at the rate it really changes, when you present manipulations.
When I go into the lab every day, basically I walk in and I put my lab coat on and my mask and I get my gloves on. And I go into the lab and I get my bird and I have to weigh him. We weigh them with pictures and record it in the lab notebook. We put them in the experimental chamber and they run the program.
So with the birds, they're picking two different key lights. Both key lights lead to food or a consequence, which is a blackout, which they turn the light out in the house. So either they pick the light and it gives them food, or they pick the light and it gives them the blackout.
In the animal lab class right now, we've got 10 birds that participate in the experiment. There are 20 students in the class, and 2 students share a bird, and they take turns running the subject and collecting the information, and so then they share that as data.
My bird's personality is very hesitant. He doesn't like to be moved around by us. But other than that, he's very good. He doesn't like to peck us or anything, so he's not harmful.
Personality-wise, my bird is really nice. He jumps right into my hands when I go into the lab, and he recognizes me and my partner, so I like him.
Our bird had a lot of challenges in the beginning. When we were doing the first experiment, he wasn't participating at all. We had to get him to do a single one where he just associated the light with the food, and then once we were able to get that going, then he was able to move on to the regular experiment with the rest of them.
I mean, the experiment we're doing right now and the ones we've done before use positive reinforcement, which is like we're giving them food for their behavior, which is pecking the different key lights that occur in the experimental chamber.
It seems as if initially all of the birds quickly figured out which alternative provided more food, and they had extreme preference for that alternative. And now there seems to be a shift with some of the birds becoming gamblers, and they're losing some of their food that they could earn in the experiment because they're choosing the suboptimal alternative. So the suboptimal alternative only provides food once out of every 5 trials, whereas the optimal alternative provides food every 4 out of 5 trials. So there's a big difference in how much food is presented. If they start gambling, they lose some of that food. Now, we make it up after the session. We feed them if they don't get enough food, so it's not hurting them long term, but it is really interesting for a hungry pigeon who knows there's more food on one alternative to actually shift behavior.
Just that it's a really unique thing and that I enjoy doing it, and I think it's interesting to see how the pigeons react, because I wouldn't think that they're that smart, and they are.
A lot of enjoyment comes from seeing what's going to happen in the experiment, and I'm dying to know, where the birds will end up at the end of the semester, if they will all turn into gamblers and be gambling away their food. But it also is so fun to see the students engage with the experiment and to see them come to understand what's going on in all the angles, and that part of it, exploring it together, is what really makes this class unique, I think.